What's up, guys? It's Bumpkins. Today is Wednesday, June 22nd. Wednesday means New Comic Book Day. New Comic Book Day means New Comic Book Haul video. As always, I went down to Infinity Flux here in Chattanooga, Tennessee for a slightly more modestly sized stack of books today, but I got some really cool extra goodies as well. Real quick, guys, before we jump into it, if you are on the Whatnot app and you want to find an awesome channel, an awesome seller that sells awesome stuff, check out Infinity Flux. It's Infinity Flux Comics, all one word. They'll be linked in the description below. They do at least 3 shows a week where they sell action figures, they sell Bronze Age, Silver Age books, new stuff, old stuff. They have theme shows all the time. It's really fun. So if you're on Whatnot and you want to buy something cool from there, definitely give them a follow. So let's jump into the book, starting with Marvel. We've got Miles Morales Spider-Man number 39. I just finished reading this one, and this is just continuing the really fun and interesting story of Miles universe hopping, but he's been on this same in the same universe for a couple issues now, fighting against his evil clone in that universe, who's named Selim, which is Miles backwards. Last issue we got introduced to a new character and some new versions of some existing characters. We see a different version, or a couple different versions of a couple different characters in this issue as well. This story is for me, it started out kind of just so-so okay, but it's actually getting much better and more interesting. So this is not the end of the story, and I'm glad because I am enjoying reading it. Next up is Moon Knight number 12. So just like Miles Morales Spider-Man, this is also continuing the story that this book has been telling for, I think, pretty much the whole run so far. It feels like it's been one big story, and it's been really interesting. So this issue is much more action-packed than the last few have been. We get some big fights. We get the return of a few characters that we haven't seen in a few issues. And we do get the return of a character that we haven't seen in a while. Well, that's all I'll say about that. But that happens at the end. I don't want to spoil anything. So this was a really fun issue, and I can't wait to see. Especially with how it ended, I can't wait to see what happens next. Next is Silver Surfer Rebirth number 5. I got the nice scroll variant here. I haven't read past the first issue, but I do have them all. I really enjoyed the first issue, so I haven't read this one, obviously, but I'm very excited to catch up. This is just 90s goodness. I love that 90s Silver Surfer, that 90s cosmic era stuff, and this is just more of that. And actually, last for Marvel, it was a small Marvel week for me. This isn't even new this week, but it's Fortnight Marvel Zero War number 1. So I wasn't going to get this. I got 2 copies of the Fortnight Batman series when it came out. One for me, one for my son to enjoy the codes. He actually didn't end up using them. He doesn't really play Fortnite anymore, and I don't really play it much either. But I just keep hearing so much fun stuff about this. I really actually did enjoy the Batman Fortnite book when it was out. So, my shop had a couple left on the shelf, so I thought, you know what? I'll bite. I'll go ahead and pick it up. As for DC, it's always a joy when this book comes out because I think I'm ready to declare this book my favorite book that DC is putting out right now. Batman Superman, World's Finest. This is number 4. This is just, I say it every time and I'm going to say it again. This book is so much just pure fun. It's just classic superhero stories, Batman and Superman teaming up. This one has Green Lantern and some other heroes in it. This is not connected to anything else. This does seem like it takes place in the past because Dick Grayson is still Robin, but we don't really know. They don't really put a specific date on it, and it doesn't really matter. You don't really need it. It's just fun superhero stories. I actually made a TikTok and posted it today about how I would love it if DC would expand this book into almost a whole sub-line of books, kind of like what Marvel did with the Ultimate books. I would love to see this as like a 1985 line of books that takes place on the newly created Earth 1985 that was created at the end of Doomsday Clock number 12. I know I'm getting into the weeds here, but if this book could expand into other titles and just take place on an Earth that just continued the pre-crisis continuity, that would be awesome. You could have like a Superman book and call it Superman 85. You could have a Batman book and call it Batman 85, Flash 85, Green Lantern 85, and just have all the classics. Holy cow, I would buy just every single thing that came out of that line. I know I'm not even talking about this book anymore. This issue was really fun too. Something cool really happened in it, and just more action, more fun superheroics. Dan More's art is phenomenal. He is absolutely one of my top 5 favorite artists right now. I absolutely love this book. I hope it never ends. I love this book so much, in fact, that I do something that I try to never do, and I picked up another cover. I picked up this awesome variant cover because look at that. Now, I'm not going to say what or who this is. You do see this in the book. I'm not going to say anything about it. It was just such a cool moment to see. It was such a cool thing to see in the book. That is such a cool design. I had to have this one as well. So next is Dark Crisis Young Justice number 1. Now, I know I said when Dark Crisis number 1 came out, I think it was a week or two ago, that I was going to abstain from the Dark Crisis event. I'll read it in trade or I'll read it on DC Universe Infinite because I just don't feel like the Dark Crisis event that they're pushing, I don't feel like it matters. I don't feel like it has any weight. They're making a big deal about the Justice League being dead, but they're not dead because they're all running around in their own books, having their own adventures. But I had pre-ordered this before I made that decision, so I went ahead and picked this one up as well. Plus, it's Todd Nauck doing a Young Justice, so I mean, obviously he doesn't do the interior art, but he did this awesome cover, so there's no way I'm going to pass up Todd Nauck on Young Justice. Plus, I just like Young Justice. I wanted to see what this story was about, and it was all right. It does tie into Dark Crisis, obviously, but it's also kind of telling its own story with its own mystery. I'm very intrigued by that mystery, but I don't think I'm going to get any more. So I think I'm just going to wait for the whole event to be over and then read it all at once. But this does, if you're a fan of Young Justice in the 90s and you do want to read Dark Crisis, or even if you don't but you're interested in this, you should pick this up because this does bring back the classics. I mean, these guys are in it heavily. Classic Young Justice. So this was enjoyable, but I think I'm going to wait till it's all done. Next up is Flash 783, the B cover here. I think this is a Dark Crisis tie-in as well, but I got this because I'm just buying Flash at the moment. Although I'm way behind, so I haven't read this obviously because I'm so far behind on Flash, but I really like this cover, and I say it with everything, but I just really need to catch up. And speaking of needing to catch up and sounding like a broken record every week, Nightwing number 93, the awesome B cover. I haven't read any of the Tom Taylor run of this either, but I've got them all. I hear a lot of good things. I did enjoy the 2-part crossover with him and John Kent. I think that was the only issue of Nightwing that I've read. I can't wait to dive into this, but I've got a lot of other Bat books that I got to catch up with first. And that was actually it for DC as well. We're burning through these really fast, and I don't really have very many Image or Indies either, but with Image, we've got Gunslinger Spawn number 9. Just like everything else, I haven't read any Spawn yet, so this is going to go in the Spawn stack, but I love that cover, and I really can't wait to catch up on these. Next for Image, and last for Image, is Nocterra number 11, so I am one issue behind on this. I haven't read issue number 10 yet, so I haven't read this one either, but the story is ramping up. I'm loving their interaction with Blacktop Bill. I love the fact that Blacktop Bill is a bad guy, and so far, anyway, he doesn't have any redeeming qualities. He's just a straight-up bad guy that you don't have to feel sympathy for. I think that's super cool. But yet, even though he is such a bad guy, our heroes are still having to find a way to work with him. So I don't know what happened in this issue or what happened in last issue, if that's developed any further, but I can't wait to find out. And then already the last of my single issues for the week is Something Is Killing the Children number 24. I got the bloody die-cut variant. And I am actually 3 issues behind on this one as well. I hate that I am because we just started a new story arc and it was pretty interesting, and the other issues are in my office because I keep meaning to go in there and read them when I'm supposed to be working, but I actually have been working a lot during work hours, so I'm super far behind on this title as well, but I'm really intrigued. I'm intrigued by these covers, if nothing else. I want to see, what's up with this guy, and I think we've seen him before, if I'm not mistaken. He's like the head of the House of Slaughter, I think. But maybe he's more prominent in the story since he's on the cover. Guess we'll have to wait and see. But the fun doesn't stop there. I've got a bunch of really cool collected editions here too, starting with Silver Surfer Epic Collection. This one is called Parable, and this collects Silver Surfer from the series that started in '87, ran through the '90s. This collects numbers 15 through 23, a couple annuals, Fantastic Four issue, and a couple other things as well. This was an impulse buy. I didn't know this was coming out, and it was sitting on the counter. And I've just gotten to where I really like these Epic collections. Obviously, I like my omnibuses, but I have a few Epic collections as well, and I think I really want to start getting more of these. as long as I don't already have them in Omnibus. Like, you know, I don't need an overlap. But I have most of these in single issues, but these Epic collections are really cool. Plus, I like them. I like getting them because once they're out of print, they're gone, and they don't reprint them again for years, if ever. Same with omnibuses too. So look for more Epic collections over the coming weeks and months, because I just really dig these. Next is Clementine, Book 1. So this is a Walking Dead related book. Clementine is a character from the Walking Dead Telltale games, which I've never played, but I was just sort of hankering for a new Walking Dead book. Even though I haven't finished the original, I've got the compendiums down here. I think I'm about halfway through compendium number 3. So yeah, but so I need to finish that. But I also was intrigued by this as well. I know that this character is pretty well loved by the people who have played the games. So I thought, yeah, I'll pick this up. Get to meet Clementine, learn or read some new Walking Dead stories, and it should be a good time. Next is one that I've heard really good things about from AWA Upshot, The Crimson Cage. This is the trade paperback that collects the whole series. I think it's either 4 or 5 issues. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's a wrestling thing, and I'm not really into wrestling, but I mean, I'm pretty sure it's more than that. If you're watching this and you've read it, you're probably yelling at me, but I simply don't know. But I have heard good things. Even like as soon as the first issue came out, I heard a lot of good stuff, and I knew that I was going to wait for it in trade. Here it is. I can't wait to read it. Next is one I'm really interested in. This is the Grendel Omnibus Volume 1. So I have been aware of Grendel since the 90s. Never read even one page of anything with Grendel on it or in it. But there is a new Netflix show coming, and I love trying. Every time they make a show or a movie about a comic that I'm not familiar with, I like to try to read that thing first to become familiar so that I can be a little bit more educated going into the show or the movie. And this is one of those. They're making a Netflix show about this. I've never read Grendel. I know almost nothing about Grendel, but I cannot wait to crack this open and hopefully learn a lot. And last but not least, this was an impulse buy today as well. I just saw it sitting on their graphic novel shelf. I've never seen this before, but I was like, hey, that looks pretty cool. Aquaman, The Search for Mara. This is a hardcover. This collects Aquaman numbers 40 through 48. Now, the reason I got this, I was in there talking with my friends, and I saw it sort of across the way, and I was like, wait a minute. I haven't seen that one before, but what I have seen is these other 2 Aquaman hardcovers that I picked up from my LCS a while back. And lo and behold, this one comes right before these 2. So this one actually collects 40 through 48. And then this one is 49 through 56 that I've had for a few months. And then this one collects 57 through 63. So these 3 together give you over a dozen issues of Aquaman. And I just thought, you know, they had all 3 of those sitting together just like that. Like I said, I already had these 2. Never heard of this one before, but I thought, well, shoot, it goes perfectly with these other 2. I have to get it. And that's it, guys. It's a slightly smaller haul than normal, but still some really cool stuff. I'm really excited about these collected editions. I can't wait to crack into all of these and try them out. So, guys, I appreciate you watching. If you like this video or any of the other videos on my channel, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give it a sarcastic thumbs up. And if nothing else, leave me a comment below and let me know what you picked up this week. Was it a lighter week for you? Was it a heavier week? Did you get some cool collected editions? Whatever you got, just let me know. I love comic books. I could talk about them with a room full of people or just to a camera. Guys, don't forget, comic books are supposed to be fun. They're just another fun form of storytelling. Good stories, good art. The vast majority of comics are fiction. They're made up anyway. None of it matters because it's all fictional, but it's all fun. There is plenty of stuff for everybody to look through and find something that they enjoy. And because there is so much stuff, it's very, very easy to simply just ignore the things that don't interest you and let everybody else enjoy those things. Also, guys, don't forget, it doesn't matter how much you buy each week or each month. What makes a great comic book haul is that the things that you get, you really enjoy. You're really excited about. Like I said, I cannot wait to jump into these collected editions. I'm really excited about those. Whether it's 1 book, 10 books, 100 books, it doesn't matter how much you buy, as long as the things that you do buy are very special to you. So guys, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.